Hello, and welcome to the Splain. Dan Rothenberg and Joe Klosik, two guys trying to figure it out. Not the right wing, not the brosphere. Left of center, with humor and empathy.
Welcome to the Splain.
Welcome to the Splain, everybody. Subscribe,
Subscribe, hit
please.
that
If you
button.
enjoy what Joe and I are doing, subscribe, like
Our
us, let us know, comment. Thank you for all
comments.
the
We
comments.
love the comments. Thank you.
We appreciate it. We gotten any comments lately,
No,
Joe? No. Okay. So we greatly appreciate
we
it.
love it when people comment, though. And so far, everyone has been
Yeah.
pretty. We got some pretty articulate, pretty cool fans that have left some great comments.
Yes. So keep it up. Keep our spirits up so we keep doing this.
Yes.
We appreciate it. So I wanted something just happened to me. So I go to my local Starbucks right next door. There is a trans barista. And first of all, let me say I want to be the Gen X guy who's open-minded and gets it.
You want to be cool.
You know, I want to be cool. I don't want to be the old guy. She's got the badge with she her, okay?
Okay.
And so I want to use her pronouns. But I can't because it doesn't come up. Like I just go in and I order a coffee.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, "Hey, she, her, come here for a second." And that it occurred to me we actually don't use with all this talk about pronouns. We don't address people with their
No,
pronouns.
very rarely.
We talk about people with their pronouns. So I was thinking, like, how can I have the opportunity? I would have to be like, yeah, I'll have a coffee? Thank you. Oh, what do you know? She did it. Wow. Very nice. Look at her.
Who are you saying
I
this?
don't have to like be a dick about it.
Natural.
And that's the best we can do is be the older guys that are trying.
We're trying. We're trying. Hey, let me ask you, what should you do if you?
I don't know.
Well,
Go
I'm
ahead
just
and
I'm just
answer. I don't know.
asking. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm asking your opinion. Like, what should you
Yeah.
do when you misgender someone completely by accident, completely innocently? Because I mean, it's funny that you tell that story now. So yesterday, I misgendered someone, and in her eyes, this you know awkwardness and also just this like
Mhm.
exhaustion of, oh fuck this again. Yeah.
How did you misgender this person? How did it be specific?
So I teach a comedy class, and I've got my
Hmm.
students lined up, and just doing general, like, let's go through being introduced, coming onto stage, and taking the microphone out. Just the most basic kind of
Uh-huh.
etiquette and stagecraft, right? And so they're lined up, and I'm
Hmm.
looking at everyone, just making comments, and how are you doing? Just like general comedy banter. And as soon as I made that comment, I realized, like, fuck, she has introduced herself with the pronouns, and she is.
Okay, you introduced her.
Yeah. And
Right.
I said, "Sir, how are you doing?" Just like comedy banter. And as soon as I said it, I realized what I had done, and it didn't feel good. And I immediately apologized
Mhm.
in the moment, saying, "I'm so sorry." And she said, "Yeah, it happens. It's okay." And then later on, of course, I did the clumsy thing of like, "Hey, listen, I really want to make sure that you understand. I'm sorry. I want everyone to feel included here."
Your students or the crowd?
Well, there's no crowd. It's just a class, right? There's like 10 of us in this room, and they're just looking at me like, "We thought you were cool."
Really? Or
I
was that in your head?
I think
I
I
wouldn't
think it was
think
mostly in my head. I mean, I
it,
apologize, and everyone
it's an
seemed.
accident.
It's an accident. It is an accident.
Yeah.
And I was sincere in the apology. I mean, we got past it, but I did notice that when the class was gone, she was out the door.
Right. Some of that, and by the way, so this is, we're two cis men breaking this down. So already,
We're splaining it.
um, we're totally splaining it, but hey, this is the splain. Here's a thought. Um, Sometimes a person maybe in that situation, you're saddled with not just awkwardness, but now I gotta have the energy to make you feel good. And maybe she just wanted to be done with it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not about you and it's not about judging you. It's just another one of these talks.
yeah, yeah. It's
And
it's,
it's
it's got to
like
be
I think I'm
exhausting.
just gonna go
Yeah,
because you're a overly apologetic, clueless guy, which is very sweet, and as am I, right?
yeah,
So we're not the enemy, we're cool. But you ever, I mean, think about it. Sometimes you don't have the energy for that talk to go
yeah,
with this blank canvas of a 55-year-old. I don't want to, it's fine. It happens. Just,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
I mean, once someone called me a Star Trek fan, and I'm like, it is Star Wars, and oh, they
uh-huh.
could not. That's as close as I can get, Dan. That's as close.
Just, you don't have time
I
for
don't
it.
have
It's a
time for
whole
it. So,
talk.
how can
Think
you?
about, I mean,
It's a whole other universe.
right. It may be a stereotype of the left of, or progressives. We're all touchy feely. We want to talk all the time. Who's got the time? When
Who's got the time?
who's got the time for all this talking? It's too much talking. It's like when my plumber, I think I told you, my plumber comes in. He says, "Hey, what line of work are you in?" Immediately, I'm like, "Oh fuck, I don't even want to talk about it."
Yeah,
I'm always in this line of work. First it was comedian, now therapist. They both tend to bring up, "Oh,
yeah, yeah,
I used to do that. I talk to I don't you know what I mean?
yeah. No,
Maybe
I don't tell people I'm a
is that just
comedian.
antisocial? Aren't you sick of explaining
I'm yeah, no, you're
your
right. You're
interesting
right.
life to
Yeah.
people?
I don't tell people I'm a comedian because of, oh, why? Because here's what ends up happening for me, right? Is
Yeah.
they go, "Oh my God, have I seen you on anything?" I'm like, "No.
Yeah, it's death. No.
No, you haven't. Thanks for reminding me how badly I fucked up my career." Anyway, how are you doing with your little,
I
what do you do? Oh, I'm a physicist. Fuck you.
Yeah. I'm a physicist. Cool.
Yeah.
See how well that went? I didn't ask you if you had won any Nobel
Yeah. Did you win a
prizes.
Nobel? Yeah. Do
I
you have a
just
YouTube channel?
Yeah. I didn't ask shit because it's uninteresting. It's
Have
boring.
you been on PBS? No? Well, then shut the fuck
No one
up.
wants to know.
Yeah, you're just an opening
I tell
physicist.
you, nothing's worse than um being like me. Being I used to do it,
Yeah.
right? So my ego is big enough that I have to let people know that I've done it.
Yeah.
And then you get into situations people think you're going to be funny and you're not feeling it. I hosted this was the worst gig of my life. Colleen and I hosted a Portland Jewish Academy, my kid's old school, his middle school. We hosted an auction. It was like the auction where they raise money for the school. Comedian parents will have you guys do it. It was death.
Ah!
It was so bad.
Oh, buddy.
And I didn't
Hmm.
that was like in 7th grade. I didn't make eye contact with a single person at that school the rest of the time. It was it. I didn't go to parent teacher conferences, do shit.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
So ashamed.
It's just a one.
Because when a comedy set goes
Yeah.
bad,
Yeah.
people are like, I could do that better than you. Like, if you're a parent, if you're like an old parent and you can play music half decent,
Hmm.
and you get up at the talent show
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
and you start rocking out, that's enough.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but if I come out and be like, how you guys doing? It's nice to be here. People aren't like, wow, he's he can talk.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you just suck.
I had a bunch of people from
Death.
my day job go, "Hey, we want to come see you." And at first I'm like, "Oh, that's great." And then I'm like, "Oh, you know what?"
Oh,
It's like, no.
but you have to right. but our ego's a little too big not to mention the show and to mention you
Of
did it.
course, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so far,
oh,
knock on wood, I've been lucky,
yeah.
but yeah. I mean, I remember the first time my parents came to see me, and it was not a great show.
You remember when my mom came to see
I
me?
do remember that. I remember that vividly. It stands
That
out.
was so bad
It
you repressed it.
it it
That was
stands
so bad you're going to
it
therapy.
stands out in my memory as like one of the all-time most awkward, saddest of I can't believe you did not commit suicide shortly after that
I know, and
event. I mean,
I'm
I
reliving it
remember
right now.
standing in the because I was you remember the old Cobb's the way it was set up and they had that little pass
Yeah.
bar in the back and I was standing there
Mhm.
and I remember I'm not going to tell the story, it's yours to tell. I remember what your mom said,
Oh,
but the thing that everybody
oh,
instantly saw was the look on your face. You went from a confident young comedian doing your thing to a diminished 10-year-old looking for mom's approval. Like the look on your
right,
face. And I just,
right.
everybody felt for you. I was just like, oh my God, that is the most devastating heckle I've ever seen.
I know. And the heckle was, "Oh, Danny."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, oh, buddy. I'm not gonna trigger. I hope I don't trigger you. It wasn't just like that. It was you told the joke, and the room, you got to laugh, not the laugh you probably wanted, and it
It was a
dispersed.
cold room.
It
I
was
was
it was
opening.
a cold room, and then
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was like this perfect pause, and then into that pause, very loudly, very clearly, "Oh, Danny," and then
Oh.
the look on your poor
This
face.
is professional comedy, people. This is not I this was my job. I was opening at Cobb's Comedy Club. That's not
That's
easy.
not
This
easy.
is
That's not easy.
was
Do
an
you remember the
up and
joke? Do you
coming.
remember what?
Yeah, this was real. This wasn't like,
But
this was my
but do
life.
you remember the joke that you told?
Yeah. Do you?
I do. And I gotta be,
Oh,
I
all
mean,
right.
I also remember like after I was like, oh my God, I'm in pain for my friend. I also thought to myself, like, that's an interesting choice of material to do with.
Choice. It was a bad choice. But that bit used to bail me out though.
Yeah.
So this is the bit. This was the late 90s. Wasn't a terrible bit. It was a local being in San Francisco. Um, San Francisco is a very snobby city. We're very snobby to our tourists. We're like, oh, you guys gonna come? You're gonna go to the wharf, and you're gonna go to Alcatraz, and you remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, you guys are invading our awesome hip city. Don't call it Frisco. Don't don't wear shorts. We can spot you guys a mile away. And so I said the joke was, we got to leave tourists alone. What do we want from them? We mock them. Oh, you're going to Alcatraz. What are they supposed to do? Hey, honey, I think I'm going to go get. I think I'm going to go down to the Castro, get bound and gagged and fucked in the ass. How does that sound? Yeah, no, it's in the brochure right here. I forgot the rest, but you get the idea. Now, it's not a brilliant joke, it always saved the room. People dug that
Yeah.
joke.
Yeah.
So it was generally a saver. It would get the crowd moving. I told that joke. I was already in my head. My mom, I went out, I said, anybody here from out of town? I'm opening a cold room.
Right.
Anyone here from out of town? My mom's like, I am.
Oh no. Yeah.
Nightmare, because she was nervous. When my mom's nervous, her gut is to step on my hopes and dreams. That's just her. She doesn't mean it.
she. That's. Oh my God.
That's just,
Oh.
she doesn't mean it. I'll get into Jewish mothers another time.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing it. It's not going great. You know, Comedy is tough. Generally we don't show it, but we're doing our thing. And sometimes up here, we're
Yeah. You're in
disintegrating.
your
We're
head.
crawling
Yeah.
into
You're like, God,
ourselves.
why isn't this
Finally, I
working?
decide to tell that joke, and I hear my mom. She still says this to me to this day. Just I tell that joke. It's a professional comedy club. My mom's like, "Oh, Danny," and I think I even tantrumed. Like, Mom, like
Yeah, no,
it was so
it was
bad. It was so. I wasn't good at eating it.
nope. Well,
I was like,
nobody is. That's why you're.
yeah, but some people have a resiliency that you just lean into it and you escape it and you go, well, that guy kind of rolled with it. I disintegrated.
It's so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think
The
you.
vulnerable part of me would come out.
I don't remember how the rest of the night went, but I think your mom also left early, right? She left early, like somewhere in the middle of the
Probably.
feature. Um,
Yeah.
and life went on. You survived. The show went
Yeah.
on. Everything. But yeah, that I do remember that. I just remember.
That's the worst moment of my life, by far.
Oh,
By far.
oh.
Worst moment of my life.
Did you and your mom ever talk about that later on? Did you ever have a conversation about that specific
I
moment?
can't remember. I mean, I was
Probably blocked it
dissociating
out.
at that
Yeah.
point. I blocked it out. I remember her trying, you know what? She tried to put a good face on it. She came up to me. The feature was this guy that talked about cancer.
Yeah.
And she comes up to me during his set. I'm back in the, by the bar. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to listen to this guy. It's depressing me. It's reminding me of Jan, who's our friend that had cancer. It really went good. And she tried to, so she put a quick bow on it. Then we never talked about comedy again. Do you know what I mean? It was,
Yeah.
so that's how I learned in terms of, and which is how I handled it again when I did this auction at Charlie's school. Okay, everyone, you all think I'm a loser now. That's done, and now keep my head down
Hmm.
and never talk about it.
Oh, buddy.
That's what comedy. I mean,
Yeah.
I assume that's what comedy does to a lot of comedians.
I think so. I mean, I
It's hard enough to eat it when
yeah.
you're having a set where you're defining your. This is the only time people are going to see you, and and you're not confident. It's
I mean, that's
really embarrassing,
the beauty
brutal.
of comedy is when you're still new and it's
Mhm.
okay to bomb because there's no expectation on you. And I would always tell myself like, you know what, it's okay because I'm never going to see these people again. But then,
Right.
if you get
But then
in,
people,
then yeah, like coworkers,
no, you're
family,
right. That's the thing.
that's the
It's the
thing.
people that see you
Yeah,
and you want their respect, your fellow comedians and the bookers. That's really what it was all
yeah,
about.
yeah. It's the people that
Which-
see you, and then that for whatever reason, that one night, it's just not clicking, and then you're just yeah. There
Yeah.
were a couple times I
It,
was in
it,
my head just going like, what the fuck?
yeah, it's the worst. The worst. All right. Well, on that high note, what are we talking about
Well,
today?
let's keep.
Glad we relived that.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. It
Oh,
kind of organically came up. I
no,
didn't.
that had to be told. That I haven't thought of that in a lot. I haven't thought of that till we talked about this.
That's
That
fair.
was brutal.
It was pretty epic.
Woo!
I believe the term that would be used now that best fits it is cringe.
Cringy, cringe. That was cringe before there was
Oh,
cringe.
I think that defines
You
cringe.
should. That would have gone viral.
Yeah, if that
This is the late '90s.
oh
You
my
would have had that
God.
comedian getting
Yeah,
heckled
yeah.
by their mom.
You'd be on like some morning TV show,
I would. I would.
after
That
like
would
this has
go.
received 30 million views. And today we've got the comedian Dan Rothenberg and his mom. Yeah, you'd be huge.
I know.
People love cringe.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my topic for today.
Yes.
So brief story to give some context to this. So I'm pretty active on Facebook. I think a lot of people who follow me on Facebook know that. I think a lot of people that follow me on Facebook have also seen there has been a big shift with me really talking about Trump, really talking about what's happening in the country. And as a result of putting my opinion out there, a couple of things have happened, which
Yeah.
is probably familiar to anyone who's commenting politically on social media. So, one, I've lost a lot of people. And when I say lost, at a certain point, I was just like, hey, look, this is what I'm talking about. And if you can't dig it, that's on you. But if you keep showing up in the comment section and calling me names or disingenuously arguing by saying bullshit, I'm just going to block you and move on.
What kind of names?
Oh, just libtard and snowflake and the whole uncreative
Okay.
list of things that
Right.
MAGA believers will say. Um, so I just block them and I move on. Like most of the time, they're not smart enough to even understand what the conversation is about. Not going to educate you, not my job. But then there's another group of people who, for whatever reason, they pop up every now and again. They're not really being mean, but they're absolutely supporting a point of view that is clearly not where I'm coming from. And again, that's okay. I am all for free speech and conversation. So I posted something about Trump, and a guy said, well, Biden never talked to the press, right? Which just incurred a lot of comments from other people. And I'm looking at the comment and I instantly realized the only reason I keep this guy around on my Facebook is he's a small time booker and he's got like a couple of rooms that pay $200. Um, and I realized, like, I bet a lot of people, a lot of comics endure this guy because they don't want to piss off a booker. They don't want to piss off losing a gig. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't think I need this guy. So I just told him, like, you know what, man, I think we have to part ways. Um, because I don't think you're appreciating how dangerous Trump is. I mean, this is a guy ignoring the Supreme Court, saying we don't deserve due process. He's deporting kids with cancer. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Biden, but if you can't see that one man is much more dangerous than whatever deficits Biden had, I'm just not interested in working for you. And I sent him that message. I think you muted yourself, buddy. Yeah. Did you put a cough drop in and you're like, I'm not going to subject.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. You're back.
Sorry, I'm a little sick.
That's
Can you hear
okay.
me?
That's
Yeah.
okay.
I'm
Yeah.
off dropping it because I'm sick. Go ahead. So you decided not to work for
I
him.
said, yeah, I had a gig coming up later in the year, and I said, yeah, you know what? I think we have to cut ties. And he was in disbelief. He's like, really? And I'm like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, you're really funny, and I've been really nice to you. And I'm like, yeah, but you have a point of view I don't respect. I can't hang
Mhm.
out with someone I don't respect, and I'm certainly not going to work for someone who has that point of
I'm
view.
impressed.
And yeah, but I
Yeah.
lost like maybe $400 for the year. But I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of so here's my big question, right? Or here's my big conversation starter. Like, has there been a situation where you've decided that politically you don't want to socialize or work for someone, or has there been some fallout, family, friend, jobs, where you've put something out on social media about politics and people were like, hey, I don't like that, I don't respect that, and maybe they've dumped you? I mean, I'm sure I've been blocked by people too.
Good question. And I have something to say about
Yeah,
that. First
please.
of all, I do want to credit you for a lot of your Facebook posts. They're well thought out and
Thanks,
funny,
buddy.
and I think you have a talent for that. For what it's worth, I'll find myself, and I'll bet you I'm not the only one, taking the time to read your posts because you take the time to write them and they're thoughtful, and usually you tie it in humorously with a you wrap it up ironically. Um,
Thank you.
it's true. It's true. Check out Joe Klosick on Facebook. Um, and again, there's something to be said for old-fashioned style writing.
Yeah, yeah.
It takes time and energy.
I
Um,
like it. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So um, I'm not active on social media like like you are. So I don't post on Facebook. I just don't have the energy. I don't, I can't even, I don't want to start talking about, I'm above it and I don't care
No,
what
no, no.
people,
I get you. Who's got time to
it
talk?
doesn't, it, maybe it's because I have a kid. Maybe it's just, it's not my love language to the world. But I will say this. This is what jumps out at me. Um, Not so much, it's not about what people say, it's about that certain people say anything at all pisses me off. I'm I'm big on boundaries
Mm.
of what's professional and not. So here's an example. I My wife and I we moved to Santa Clarita, California, having no idea that's north of LA.
Hmm.
Are you familiar at
Yeah,
all?
yeah,
It's a Republican conservative
yeah,
dust
yeah.
bowl. It
It's like
is
Simi Valley and up. Yeah,
totally. It's like we didn't even know where we were moving, but we did the thing. Like we want to have a family,
yep.
but we're in the entertainment industry, and we're actually not so much then. We want to live in LA and have a family. You keep going north as the dream
Hmm.
dies until you're,
We're in
you know,
Canada.
yeah. You start in Santa Monica, and in the beginning, I started in Santa Monica. I'm going to Gold's Gym. I'm on a treadmill next to The Rock and Lou Ferrigno. Seriously,
Yeah,
everybody's just there.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, I'm living the dream, and slowly, as reality and the fact that you don't get paid for working out with The Rock.
No, no.
So eventually, we wind up in Santa Clarita, and to be there when the first Trump term was approaching, I've never felt so Jewish in my life. I really
Wow.
felt
Yeah.
like a step back in assimilation. I just didn't feel
Mm.
comfortable
Yeah.
in a very real conservative Christian huge truck environment. It's just not my thing. So the person that sold us our house, right, our realtor. Now I'm not going to stereotype her at all, but just to give you the visual, very conservative, very religious,
Mm.
bleached blonde hair
Little cross.
with the kids and the cross
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
kids and the Christianity and that mold.
Hmm.
It bugs me that a service professional like that, who you have customers, is going to get political on Facebook.
Mm.
It just it or you can say what you want, but as a customer, I'm done with you. I'm now not recommending
Yeah.
you. And it's not just because I happen to disagree with you. I don't want to hear that from you. I'm not. It's sort of I'm not your friend in that way. We do business together, and I think so. How do I translate that to your situation?
Well,
This is just me.
what'd she say? Did she post something and
He
then
said this was way
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Um, it was something good about Florida. I forgot what. Ron
uh,
DeSantis.
yeah,
He
stop
did something
stop
really.
there. Yeah, yeah.
Let's think. What could it? He did something very very wholesome and
You
Christian.
probably banned something.
Translation: somebody lost their
Yeah,
rights.
yeah,
Somebody got trampled
yeah.
on in the name of a war against woke culture.
Hmm.
Vulnerable people suffer,
Yeah.
which apparently is the Christian outcome. Whatever. So she writes. She wrote a post. I remember this, just like I remember my mom. These things burn in your brain. She said that's why they call it the freedom state,
Oh,
because they did what. And
wow. Yeah.
like on that note, this is where my head was when you were telling this story. I was like, okay, we become Facebook friends. It happens. We get all enmeshed.
Hmm.
But as a guy booking you, he doesn't need to comment. Don't comment on your shit. That's how I see it.
I mean, it's interesting that you bring up
Stay out of it.
boundaries because I
You
don't.
see what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think boundaries exist anymore. I mean, not in the
I
way,
know.
you know what I mean? Like
It just bugs.
everything is a blurry line, and
Yeah.
here's what I also find. I also find like he was another one of these guys that was always saying, "Hey, we still have to communicate. We still have to communicate." And like, yeah, I agree, but at what point, when you're throwing everybody in jail that you don't agree with, are we still communicating? Like, you understand now that you have
Yeah.
all the power and you're disregarding more than 200 years of civil rights and justice and laws, and you're saying, hey, we still have to keep the lines of communication open. Meanwhile, it's like, look, dude,
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a thumbs up on your shitty Facebook post because I want to work your room for 200 bucks.
So I'm going to psychoanalyze you for a
Oh,
second,
okay.
if that's okay. I w- I figured you were going to say you just were honest with him on Facebook. You cut ties with
I
him.
cut ties, yeah.
I think you have a right to work for assholes.
Look, you certainly can, but I
Or
just don't want to.
let
I
me
just
take
don't
that
have
back.
that. I
Let me take
knowing
that
that
back.
about him, it
Yeah.
started to grate on
It
me.
sounds like it was a cleanse you needed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like,
Sounds like it was an overall thing you did. Fuck doing this and playing
I'm
this
not gonna
game.
play
You
the
just
game. I don't. I mean,
shitty gig wasn't worth it.
it's not. And I've seen like here's another thing. Like I see this a lot on social media. There is a
Mhm.
booker, right? He's got a couple of rooms, or maybe he's got a great room, and it doesn't matter how shitty the joke is that they
Uh-huh.
post, it instantly gets, like 500 likes, and you look at who's liking
Yeah,
it,
that's
and
lame.
it's all
Right.
like shitty comics that want to work in that room.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
Yeah,
That's fucking
it's
pathetic.
pathetic. And
It's like when you start to say no to the free rooms because you don't need it anymore. You're
yeah,
like, I'm you're done with that. You don't need to degrade your it's yeah, it's like 20 years ago if Terry Sawyer was posting a bunch of shit, we'd all be,
oh my
that's
god, I can't imagine what it would have been like. Thank god there was no social media back then. That would have just been
yeah.
another. I think that's what it is. I think that I'm realizing it's a whole other layer of I don't even know how to define it, but it's a whole other layer of relationship shit that you have to navigate. It's
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
business? Are we friends? Is this just how it is now?
Right.
Hey, you're commenting on something and you don't agree with me, but I'm working for you, and can I really say what I want to say back to that completely ignorant, stupid comment? It
Uh-huh.
just got to the point where I also realized like I'm not being honest with this person because I want to work his room. And I'm like, no, and I do feel like,
And that's okay to an extent, but
yeah,
I give you credit for going, "No, this isn't worth it."
it's not worth it.
There's only so much of that there's only so much of that BS you have in you,
I
so don't
can't do
waste
it.
it on a $200 room.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm gonna turn down $1 million gig. That's that. Then you'll know I have. Hey,
Yeah.
Joe Klosick was gonna host the Oscars this year, but he said, "Fuck that."
I'm more looking at it from a boundaries
That makes
perspective. I
sense,
I
though.
don't think again, like to me, stay out of it. If and I think he should stay. He's got power over you. He's a booker, you're a comedian. What's the state of what do you stay out of it?
But I
I
think
guess you know what? I'm an old guy who still again, I still see people should stay in their lane and maybe that's just not how
Well,
it
I mean,
is.
that's the thing about social media, right? Like everything is blurry. There are no clear lines, and
Mhm.
if you are doing anything where you need to promote it, a
Yeah.
show, a business, you're on social media. So then everything gets wrapped up, and you're like, well, wait a second, I don't like that person's point of view, but that person is hiring me, and am I going to be in a situation where I'm helping that person make money, but I don't
Yeah.
believe in, you know what I mean? It just felt like,
It's just
it's not worth it. Let him do what he wants to do. That's fine,
yeah.
but I also think there's this huge, if you're a booker, and this is strictly what I
Uh-huh.
know from comedy, right? If you're a comedy booker,
Yeah.
you know that everybody is desperate to get
Yeah.
work from you. And
Yeah, it's pathetic.
you are exploiting that hunger, that
Uh-huh.
inadequacy, that comedians feel like, um,
Yeah.
and I've seen it play out in real time on social media, and people think like, oh, look, I got the first comment, and the booker gave me a laughing emoji, woo,
Yeah.
and that's all it
Yeah.
takes. That's all it takes for someone to feel good for a little while.
Hmm.
I mean, could you
Yeah.
could you imagine if Tom Sawyer back in the day liked
I
a
know.
comment that you had said on Facebook, and you're like, I think I'm getting a
I know.
set tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. We'd be all talking about it. We'd be at the Fourth Coast talking about it.
It just, I mean, yeah, I just feel like we are all playing a game. I get it, but do we have to all play the game? Do I have to like the comment that I don't agree with?
Apparently
Do I have
not.
to entertain
Yeah.
it? Can I be honest and say, like, listen, that's a really ignorant thing that you just said. I don't agree with it. Is it going to cost me
Yeah.
work? I don't know, but I'd rather just,
How does it feel? How does it
it
feel to do
feels
that?
great. It feels great. It feels
Good. Good for
great just
okay.
to
So
not,
remember that feeling.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
That's cool. You know what? That's very cool to choose um, authenticity over money, even if it wasn't a lot of money. Remember how that feels. You're now going toward your values. Close call. That's what we in the therapy business call
Mm,
value-based actions.
I
So,
love it.
so as you know from your acceptance commitment therapy, keep going. Just
Go
go
towards the
fucking that way.
values. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it makes you broke.
Yes. Re- within
You
reason.
know what the nice thing was, though? I did think about this and I thought, I am at a place in my life I do not need to put up with bullshit for a $200 gig.
Hmm.
I just don't.
Yeah. That used to be a lot of money for
That's
us.
that.
Think about it.
Yeah,
200?
it still
We were sitting
is.
around 20 years ago.
Yeah.
$200 gig?
Oh my God. I mean, that could be
That's
the,
half the
yeah.
rent.
Yeah, that was a lot of money. I mean, it's still like that's going to cover a substantial amount of
Yeah.
groceries or a cell phone bill or
Yeah. So,
something, And if I was a younger comic and I had roommates, I think probably the younger comics think I'm out of my mind. You're like, dude, just put up with this bullshit. Go do your comedy, get the money. So
right.
what? Like, okay, but feels like things are
Yeah.
a little more important now,
All right. I think we can wrap it right there. Joe Klosick has got integrity, talent,
but not
and
$200.
he's out $200, but he's gonna make that
Gonna
tenfold.
make it tenfold because I am going towards my values.
His values. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, like us, love us. Didn't we just talk about the disingenuous liking and
I know.
now what did I
But
just
this
say?
is the irony.
Like us,
This is the irony.
subscribe. It's all irony. Subscribe to the Splain. Let us know. And we're going to get some shorts out soon and
Soon.
get
I promise. I swear to
some
God.
momentum.
I swear to God, they're coming.
All right. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye bye.